Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to add this trail of smoke to a picture so that this actually looks like I just lit this candle here. So I've already done this, so this is what we're going to work towards. I'm going to just turn off my smoke layer here so that I can work as the original file that you will have as well. I'm going to add a new layer is the first thing I'm going to do here. And then I want to come over to the brush tool and select the brush. And I want to make sure that white is in the foreground here. I personally find it easier to draw from top to bottom when I'm using a mouse. So I'm going to just draw from the top to the bottom. And when I come down to the bottom, I actually want to pass just over the tip of this flame and then just come down just a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to just click and then drag. It does not have to be perfect. I'm just going to come down like this. All right. Now that I have my path, I'm going to go up to filter. And with filter, I'm going to go to this blur gallery and hit path blur. All right, with path blur selected, this new dialog box comes up. And I'm just going to pull in here. You can see that it creates an arrow, right? So you have the point of the arrow here and the back of the arrow. And this will show us the path, right? So I want to make sure that the arrow is all the way at the top. So I'm going to now just zoom out, and then I'm going to move this to the top like this. And I'm going to move this bottom piece here of this line segment down here. And then I'm just going to move the anchor here. So I'm going to have, if I just click on, so if you can see that when I hover over the cursor, it has a little plus symbol. All I have to do is click and then drag. And then I'll do the same here where I click and then drag. Something along the lines of this. Okay. So I can certainly kind of finagle this, but for now, I'm just going to leave this as is. And now I'm going to start trying to make this nice little stream of smoke. So if I click on the top here, you can see that as I hover, so I've clicked on it, I've activated this particular point because you can see the blue in the center. And if I just pull down a little bit, you see this little dial that happens. And then you see how it's faded and then it goes to bold. Once it's bold, I can then move the dial back and forth right here to create this endpoint speed. I'm just going to extend that, okay? Something like this. And if I want to extend it even more so that it has a really faint, and then I will do the same thing here at the bottom. I have to click on this anchor here and then hover. And then once this comes up, I'm going to then kind of rotate it. And then do you see that as it moves in this path, right, this direction of the path, I'm starting to get expansion of that path. Okay. So I have this like this now, and then I can come over to the dialog here, and now I can kind of play around with some of these adjustments. So under the speed, do you see it didn't take very much for me to make a difference? So even just going from 45, I can then sort of expand. All right, so do you see what I'm able to do here? I can also look at the taper. So if I do the taper here, okay, so I can, make it more subtle. I can also then kind of move these down. If I find that I have too many, I'm just going to delete that one, and I'm going to bring this down. And I'm bringing it down just so that I can, change the end point, okay? So again, if I click on this to activate it, I can bring this down, right? So you see as I move this, it's changing it. Okay, so I might do something like that. And then I can move this down a little bit and move this up or out a little bit. I can come here. I probably don't want it to stick out too much, but I do want it to have some interest here. So I'll do something like this, and then I'll just come back over to my dialog again. if I just kind of move this back and forth, it will give me different variations, and I can kind of play with that to see what is going to work the best for what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to actually increase this a little bit. I think that's a little more interesting. Something maybe like that. And then let's see about my taper here. All right. So let's see. I'm going to bring this back down here. I'm going to click on here so that I can maybe adjust this. I think I got too wide here. So I'll make this a little smaller there. I'll click on this one to activate this one, and then I'll just expand it out. I think that works better. So I will do that. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to press OK, and once I press OK, it's going to take a little bit of time to process, but we'll just be patient as it processes. It's kind of neat that this feature allows us to create something that looks so realistic, as if we were able to capture this smoke trail in camera settings here. All right, so with layer 1 here, I can decide if I want to leave it like this, but I find that that looks a little too bright. I need to definitely make it more subtle. So I'm going to maybe look down at the soft light or even the overlay. I think I might just do the soft light here. And if this was too bright still, you could always come in and change the opacity, whatever you think looks the best for your project. Now, while I probably don't want to do this here, I could actually just with layer 1 selected, do Command T, and I can, if I hold down the Command key, I can then just kind of make this maybe a little narrower so that it doesn't kind of expand out so much, and then just press return if I wanted it to be something like that. Otherwise, I can just do Command Z and have it a little wider like that. All right, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.